12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
I'm ABC's Em Nguyen in Washington. President Biden is speaking out against the atrocities seen out of Ukraine as officials there are gathering evidence of alleged Russian war crimes. The latest coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we're starting cool again, and this time at 56 degrees.
It is Thursday morning. Good morning to you. It's April 7th.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you've had a great week. Doesn't feel like April, but later on it's going to be kind of nice.
Wow, unbelievable. It was very gusty, wind-wise yesterday, and Mike Osterhage is here with more on what we think might be a continuing threat until we get some decent rain around here, right, Mike?
Which, we've got a little bit of rain in the forecast next week. But yeah, another red flag warning today. Yeah, but you know, on the flip side of that, then it's perfect weather. So we've got very low humidity and, you know, nice little breeze, plenty of sunshine, very high fire danger. And you want to grab a jacket this morning. Now, we are in the 50s right now and a couple of 40s, but we're not done cooling off as of yet. 46 Rio Medina, Hondo, 49 at Bulverde, 54 at Bernie Stage, and 52 at Randolph. But we've got fairly light wind right now, bone dry air out there. I mean, this is almost unusual for this time of year to have this dry air, clear skies. So that's allowing temperatures to really drop down. Of course, red flag warning goes into effect at 10 up until 8 o'clock for the, let's call it the eastern 2/3 of our viewing area, with the exception of the extreme western counties. And yeah, very high fire danger. Just don't do any outdoor burning at all. Oak still on the high side, but it did come down about a third or so of what it was the previous day. Mold is moderate and low amounts of everything else. And throughout the rest of the morning, we are going to be dropping down into the mid 40s. Yeah, clear, cool, and then huge warm up throughout the day. We're going to make it up to 80, sunny and breezy. More fantastic weather tomorrow as well as Saturday. Then some changes. We'll talk about some small rain chances coming up into next week. Steph, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. Now to a silver alert. The Coleman County Sheriff's Office south of Abilene is looking for Joyce Maureen Davis. She's diagnosed with a cognitive impairment. She's 84 years old, about 5'1", 125 pounds. She has gray hair and hazel eyes. Last seen driving a white 2002 Ford Focus with Texas license plate RBJ 9427. Law enforcement believes she poses a threat to her own health and safety. If you have any information regarding this missing senior, contact the Coleman County Sheriff's Office at the number in the yellow banner, 325-625-3506.
And now the latest on the shooting of a Bexar County deputy. Records are revealing more about the accused gunman, Robert Inocencio. Now, Bexar County records list 2 charges for the 19-year-old, one of them being a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon last year. That charge was dismissed due to a missing witness. Records also show he faced a charge of unlawful carry of a weapon, and a hearing date was set for last Friday before it was moved to August. Now, Bexar County deputies tried to arrest him on 2 felony warrants this week. They involved an aggravated robbery and a narcotics case. Investigators say a deputy was shot while trying to serve those warrants. He was taken to a hospital as another deputy returned fire. Inocencio was found dead after an hours-long standoff. It's not clear if his death was due to gunfire from deputies or a self-inflicted gunshot.
4:33 this morning, Ukraine bracing for another big battle for the country's industrial east.
For the first time, President Biden is addressing the mounting evidence slamming Russia for war crimes while imposing more sanctions in response. ABC's Em Nguyen has the latest from Washington.
This morning, dire warnings for residents to evacuate from eastern Ukraine, within the region known as the Donbass, a priority for the Russian military. Many soldiers there relocating from the north, where they're accused of leaving behind death and destruction, killing civilians while completely destroying buildings and homes. In Borodyanka, more than a dozen bodies recovered, but authorities say far more are likely buried under the rubble. Just east in Bucha, body bags line the streets outside the cemetery. There, the manager, saying Russian troops were simply abusing and killing civilians. Now, the UN is set to vote today on suspending Russia from the UN Human Rights Council. President Biden calling on the U.S. and its allies to hold Russia accountable.
A sense of brutality and inhumanity left for all the world to see unapologetically. There's nothing less happening than major war crimes.
The U.S. adding more sanctions, banning all new investment in Russia, penalizing Russia's largest banks, and sanctioning Vladimir Putin's 2 adult daughters. U.S. officials suspect many of Putin's assets are hidden within family members. The Biden administration also promising $100 million more in military aid to Ukraine for Javelin anti-tank missiles. And the Justice Department is confirming U.S. prosecutors are working with European counterparts to investigate potential Russian war crimes.
On the vote to suspend Russia from the UN Human Rights Council, the U.S. ambassador says she's confident they'll get the 2/3 majority needed today. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
The U.S. Senate expected to confirm Supreme Court nominee Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson today. 3 Republican senators have said they'll support Judge Jackson, who would replace Justice Stephen Breyer when he retires this summer. The vote will be far from the overwhelming bipartisan confirmations for Breyer and other justices in decades past. However, it will still be a significant bipartisan accomplishment for President Biden in the narrow 50-50 Senate after GOP senators work to paint Jackson as too liberal.
2 men are facing federal charges in Washington, D.C., accused of impersonating federal agents for at least 2 years. The 2 men have both been charged with false impersonation of an officer of the U.S. Now, court documents show the pair are accused of pretending to be officers or employees of the Department of Homeland Security since at least February of 2020. Officials say they represented themselves as federal agents to numerous people, many of whom are actual members of federal law enforcement. They have been placed on administrative leave pending further investigation. Both men are detained and are set to appear before a judge later today.
The House of Representatives has voted to hold 2 advisors to former President Trump in contempt of Congress. The vote refers Dan Scavino and Peter Navarro to the Justice Department for charges. Both men did not appear for their scheduled depositions with the committee investigating the January 6th Capitol insurrection. They cited executive privilege to avoid cooperating with the investigation. Just 2 Republicans, Representatives Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, voted for the resolution. They also serve on the Select Committee. The referrals will be sent to the Justice Department, which will decide whether to prosecute.
Time now, 4:37 and 56 degrees for now.
Ahead, a look at tonight's matchup between our San Antonio Spurs and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And a quick look at the roads with TransSky, looking at Highway 281 at Grayson. Things are moving there.
And outside with Live Cam, grab a jacket this morning or a vest or something, but you need 1 extra layer. That's our fashion advice. We'll be right back. Good morning, welcome back. 4:40, our Spurs in Minnesota, where they'll wrap up the road trip tonight when they take on the Timberwolves. With their stunning win in Denver, the Silver and Black have now won 5 road games in a row, which is the longest road win streak for the Spurs since the spring of 2017. The win against the Nuggets clinched their 10th and final play-in position. In order for the Spurs to host the Pelicans in the tournament, they have to finish 1 game better than New Orleans in the last 3 games. So why do players like Jakob Poeltl like playing on the road?
To me, it never really made that big a difference playing on the road to playing at home. Obviously, at home, you have the support of your own fans, which really helps you get going. But on the road, you kind of, I don't know, it's that like villain mentality, I guess. You're going against everybody, and that kind of gets you going as well. So to me, I feel very comfortable playing on the road.
The Spurs' final home game of the regular season will be this Saturday when they host the Golden State Warriors. It'll also be Fan Appreciation Night, where the Spurs will honor B.J. Red McCombs, who spearheaded the move of the Dallas Chaparrals to San Antonio to become the Spurs in 1973. McCombs, who's now 94, was part of the ownership of the original investment group. Your San Antonio Missions have returned to the Alamo City to begin their 2022 season. They'll batter up on the road in Corpus Christi starting tomorrow. Philip Wellman will start his 5th season as manager of the Padres AA Farm Club, and he's dealing with some big changes. The pitch clock is faster, the bags are bigger, and the pitchers can only try to pick off a runner twice or else.
During a plate appearance, our pitcher's only allowed to pick over or disengage from the rubber twice in an at-bat. If you throw over the 3rd time, if he's not out at first, it's a balk. I don't know where that rule came from. I better keep my mouth shut before I get myself in trouble, but I don't like it.
I was going to say, doesn't seem like he's a big fan of the rule.
Nope.
Mission's first home game will be Tuesday against Frisco. Good luck this season, guys. Good to see you back.
Yeah, good to see them. I like the honesty, though. Kind of nice. Time now, 4:42 and 56 degrees for now. A look ahead at how doctors are using special implants to restore hearing, but even prevent something more serious.
Plus, with a rise in gasoline theft, a first look at how you can keep your vehicle and your gas tank safe.
Welcome back. It's 4:45. With the recent rise in gas prices, there also has been an increase in gas theft at the pump and from your tank. However, there are ways to protect yourself. ABC's Becky Worley has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a gas theft warning.
Thieves are getting very, very desperate. And what gasoline is turning into is basically like liquid gold.
In Hazel Crest, Illinois, outside Chicago, a car dealership capturing one of those thieves, who the owner says drilled holes into the tanks of vehicles, filled up buckets, and walked away. In Florida, police uncovering a $60,000 gas theft ring, where police say 7 suspects would hijack the pump for hours.
After pumping 600 gallons of fuel, their bill was $6.
Law enforcement in the area going so far as to deploy a police helicopter 2,000 feet overhead to catch them in the act. They say they would take the fuel and resell it cheaper at other locations. And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have the expert tips to keep your car and your gas tank safe. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland, California.
446, whether it's your dad, your grandma, your spouse, or even you, we all know someone who suffers from age-related hearing loss. But now it's looking like there's a lot more to it.
And as Ursula Perry reports, doctors are using cochlear implants to restore hearing, but also potentially to stave off another serious illness.
102-year-old Irvin Pofe survived World War II, but he's still feeling the impact 80 years later.
In the past, when you're flying a bomber, there really wasn't any concept of hearing protection. Hearing loss in this age group is quite important to treat because it could deteriorate the dementia. It could further make the dementia worse.
A new study found people more than 75 years old with hearing loss are nearly twice as likely to develop dementia and lose their cognitive abilities, up to 40% more quickly than people without a hearing problem. Until recently, someone of Pofe's age would not be considered for a cochlear implant. It's a small electronic device that electrically stimulates the cochlear nerve. But now Pofe is becoming one of the oldest people to receive this life-changing technology.
We also have a technology to combine the use of a hearing aid and a cochlear implant called a hybrid technology. And by doing both, taking advantage of the hearing aid and the cochlear implant, we can help patients who have some hearing in the low frequencies, but no hearing in the mid and higher frequencies.
The combination of the two technologies took Pofe's hearing from 30% to 60%.
My understanding of words is almost twice what it was before.
Just enough to keep Pofe enjoying life.
But dementia is not the only problem you may have if you're experiencing hearing loss. You have 3 times the chance of a fall, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and depression. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
Steph, let's check traffic right now. It's pretty early right now. I didn't see any accidents citywide right now.
And I can imagine that. There's not too many people on the road, but they're starting to get out there slowly.
Traffic is almost non-existent, but that'll change in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Well, Mike Osterhage joins us now. We're enjoying Fiesta so far, but again, all very mindful of anything that could trigger a grass or wildfire.
Just don't do anything outside as far as, people tossing cigarettes, anything like that, parking over dry grass or...
And Justin mentioned something last week that I never thought about. It could be as innocent as chains on a trailer dangling too low and scraping on the pavement. Yeah.
Anything can touch these fires. And of course, we basically have not had rain, period, in forever. And we might get some next week. All right, here's a Viva Fiesta sunset. I don't know where the clouds were yesterday because I didn't see anything during the afternoon, but boy, that's a pretty looking sunset. Thank you very much for that one. Nothing but clear skies out there as of right now, and go upstairs in the atmosphere. We've got some really, really dry air. This dark shade on the water vapor imagery means that we're going to have some beautiful blue skies once again today, and a little bit of a breeze out there. Not much. In most cases, the wind is very, very light or non-existent, and that combined with the bone dry air, that's going to allow temperatures to continue to drop down this morning. So we're in the 50s right now, but I think we're going to finish up right around the mid 40s, way, way below normal by almost 15 degrees. And then that's going to be the situation tomorrow, and it's still going to be on the chilly side Saturday morning as well. Compared to yesterday at this time, the dew points, the measure of moisture in the atmosphere, 43 degrees lower than what it was at this time yesterday in Gonzales, 33 here in town, 40 in Kerrville. Just this kind of unusual for this time of year to have this dry air move on in here, and the air is just going to stay bone dry throughout the rest of today and overnight and into tomorrow. So again, we've got the perfect situation set up for the radiational cooling. And if you're going out tonight, again, take a light jacket because it will cool off fairly quickly. Of course, the band festival is tonight at Alamo Stadium, so make sure you take a jacket for that. And then tomorrow, heading off to Battle of Flowers Parade, going to be really chilly starting off in the morning with that bone dry air. Now, by Saturday, we start. It's still going to be really pleasant on Saturday, but then the humidity will begin its return, and then the humidity is really going to move on in here throughout the day on Sunday, especially by Sunday night. Beautiful sunrise, and like I said, temperatures are going to be dropping into the mid 40s and then warm up very quickly, and then the wind starts to pick up by about mid-morning, and that's when the red flag warning, goes into effect. Plenty of sunshine. We make it up to 70 at noon, and then we'll top off at 80 later on today. Again, just a fantastic day, but there's the red flag warning that's in effect for not the entire area, excluding some of our western counties. Kind of unusual since they have had the least amount of rain. You've had the least amount of rain, but again, red flag warning till 8 o'clock tonight. Still, even though nothing formally is posted the next couple of days, like Mark was talking about, until we get some decent rain, the fire danger is still going to remain very high. 70 today at noon. Sunny, breezy, low humidity, a fantastic day. 80 for a high temperature today. And again, it's going to cool off quickly tonight. Tomorrow morning, get down to 44 degrees. 48 on Saturday, up into the low 80s. Sunday, nice day, not as chilly in the morning. It's going to be fantastic for Flambeau Saturday night as well. Humidity is really going to start to work its way back in here. Sunday, more clouds, maybe a stray shower or two. Small chance of rain to start off first part of next week. Much more humid next week.
And just think how weird it's going to be to see Steph wearing a crocheted shawl during Battle of Flowers tomorrow.
Definitely wear folks, if you're going out tomorrow, getting a good seat early on, you will definitely need a jacket.
I mean, I got to be honest with you, we're behind a desk. I was going to wear shorts tomorrow, but not anymore.
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, I'll bundle up.
Okay. All right. I'm going to remember she said that when I'm loaning her my jacket. 4:53, about 55 degrees.
Gentlemen.
Coming up next, we're going to tell you about some of the new shows and episodes hitting streaming services this week.
5 till the saga of Theranos wraps up on Hulu, plus a new spy thriller debuting on Amazon Prime Video.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
The world works in certain ways until a new great idea comes along and changes everything.
The saga of Theranos and its founder Elizabeth Holmes wraps up today on Hulu with the finale of The Dropout. Amanda Seyfried stars as the woman who defrauded Silicon Valley with her blood testing device. William H. Macy plays Dr. Richard Fwees, one of the guys who helped bring her down. And Macy tells me he feels Holmes started with pure intentions to make it easier to find out what's wrong with you.
But when she couldn't deliver and when her engineers couldn't find the technology to make this box work, she went to the dark side and she started covering her tracks.
All episodes of The Dropout out now on Hulu.
We need to find out if we had a mole.
Out tomorrow, the spy thriller All the Old Knives stars Tandy Newton and Chris Pine as a pair of CIA colleagues with a lot of secrets. Pine telling me he's not the kind of guy who actively tries to figure out the twist while watching something.
That's what my father does, and it drives me crazy. He'll, in the middle of it, he'll be like, well, he's gonna die. Or she did it.
You can watch All the Old Knives starting tomorrow on Godfather just turned 50. Today, director Francis Ford Coppola turns 83. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
It's now 4:57, about 55 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, 4 members of the U.S. Secret Service have been, including one who was on First Lady Jill Biden's protective detail. We're going to tell you why and what's next.
Plus, we'll tell you about some price changes coming to Amazon Music for Prime members. That's ahead in Tech Bites.
And a quick check of the roads with TransGuide. There's a look there at I-10 and Probant. More vehicles on the roadway. Stephen Cavazos just walked in here. Hi. We'll be checking in with him soon.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, 4 members of the U.S. Secret Service have been suspended. We're going to tell you why coming up.
Outside with live cam. Downtown lit up for Fiesta, and it's an unseasonable 55 degrees, if you can believe it. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, April 7th.
Thanks for joining us today. Yeah, it is kind of hard to believe at 55 degrees, but we know it'll warm up a little bit.
And Mike says it'll cool down again tonight.
Yeah, we're not done cooling down this morning as of yet, but right now we are right about the normal low temperature in the mid and upper 50s. But you look at the numbers over there on the side. So wind is very, very light. We've got clear skies out there, and that bottom number, the dew point, at 20 degrees. Bone dry air out there. And now that's good news, going to be really comfortable today. We're going to warm up very quickly, make it up to 80 later on. But of course, then with the wind picking up and that dry air in place, and of course the dry ground, once again, we do have a very high fire danger today. More red flag warnings. The aquifer dropped down 0.3 of a foot yesterday's reading, and Oak, which is still high, but it was about a third of what it was the day before. Mold is still moderate, and low amounts of everything else. All right, you take a look outside, and first of all, the red flag warning, which goes into effect at 10 o'clock this morning. That's when the wind's going to start to pick up, and that's up until 8 o'clock. And unlike the past couple of days, it does not include the extreme western counties, but about the eastern 2/3 of our viewing area, including all of the metropolitan area. Just forget about any sort of burning at all outside. So clear, cool this morning, and then later on this afternoon, sunny, breezy. Yes, a fantastic day, notwithstanding the high fire danger, of course. And then tomorrow, yeah, it's going to be downright cold in the morning. Mr. Austin is thinking about wearing shorts for the Battle of Flowers broadcast. Not a good idea. Sunny and beautiful then in the afternoon, and Saturday is pretty much going to be then a repeat of that or continuation of that. Then the humidity starts to return, especially later in the day on Sunday, and perhaps a couple of showers. If you're going to Nyosa tonight, great evening, but again, take a jacket, because once that sun really drops down there, and it's going to cool off by the evening hours. We're going to be in the low 60s by 10 o'clock, so it's going to be actually on the chilly side. Same thing tomorrow night as well, and maybe even for Saturday night, cooling off kind of quickly. Details on the weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. Good morning, sir. What's going on?
Good morning, Mike. Well, we are entering the 5 a.m. hour with some issues out on the roadway. 410 north at Ingram. You can make off of, in the distance, there are some flashing lights that TransGuide has picked up, and that's because a crash has been reported in that direction. Let's go ahead and take you to the map, because where that's being pinpointed is the northbound lanes of 410 there at Culebra Road. And our map looks like it just populated that icon up above. So we're going to watch it closely, but not impacting the commute because it is still very early. Did spot a crash that looks like it has cleared here off of Loop 410 eastbound at I-35. That was causing a slight slowdown for drivers, but you can see it's not causing any issues. So that does appear it has cleared out. Let's get that wide look at the map. 5:03, we are entering again the 5 a.m. hour with a few issues out there, but nothing too big that's going to impact that early morning drive. Inbound times are looking pretty good right now. I-10 eastbound, traveling in from Bernie to downtown is 25 minutes at this hour. 281 southbound, 26 minutes coming in from Bulverde. 26 also traveling in. 35 coming in from New Braunfels, pardon me. All right, one last look at TransGuide 410 north at Ingram. We do still see some flashing lights out there. Hopefully we're seeing the tail end of this crash, but we'll find out how that impacts that morning drive coming up a little bit later on. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen. Now to late breaking news. Fires caused heavy damage to a West Side home and sent one person to a hospital.
It broke out around 3 this morning in the 100 block of C Street. That's near Highway 90 in Zarzamora. Katrina Weber is there live at the scene. And Katrina, it looks like the fire is out now, but you say the investigation is still going on.
Well, that's right. Investigators still looking for the official cause of this fire, but firefighters say there doesn't appear to be anything suspicious about it, that it could be electrical. Either way, though, it caused quite a bit of damage here to this home, the home of 3 people, we understand. One of them did end up in the hospital. Let me give you a look at the video so you can see how it was when it was going on. Not a lot of flames to talk about, but there was apparently a lot of smoke. There were signs actually on the highway as we drove here that warned drivers of smoke over the highway here at Zarzamora. That smoke did affect one person in this house. We understand there was a man with his son and daughter, and the 17-year-old daughter is the one who ended up in the hospital suffering from smoke inhalation. There also were several pets in the home. It appears they are all safe. But again, no exact cause of this fire, but according to firefighters, it does look like it could be electrical in nature. As far as the people and pets, we don't know what their future holds, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to come back here anytime soon. Reporting live on the west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. New this morning, Bexar County deputies say a chase overnight ended with a woman being charged with evading arrest and suspected of driving while intoxicated. Started just before 2 a.m. in the area of Wurzbach and I-10. BCSO says a deputy spotted a reckless driver and tried to pull her over, but she sped off. After about a 10-minute chase, BCSO says she crashed into a pole right in front of an apartment complex over on Vance Jackson. Sheriff's office says she had a felony warrant and was taken into custody.
President Biden's plan to end Title 42 isn't sitting well with Governor Greg Abbott. Abbott just announced some new aggressive measures yesterday that he says will secure the border. Now, one of those measures involves busing migrants to Washington, D.C. He plans on having boat blockades, razor wire, and container blockades along low water crossings and enhanced vehicle inspections.
In past disasters, we have pulled up to 900 buses for operations to do evacuations. We will use as many buses as we need to follow the governor's direction to get this done.
This is the only stage 1 of Abbott's plan. The governor says more announcements will be made next week.
2 men are charged with posing as federal officers and duping Secret Service agents, including one assigned to the First Lady's security detail.
It's a scheme involving free luxury apartments and other expensive gifts. Now, 4 agents have been placed on administrative leave. Here's ABC's Mona Kassar Abdi.
Overnight, word that multiple members of the Secret Service have been suspended, accused of accepting extravagant gifts from 2 men who were allegedly impersonating federal agents.
The gifts are not cheap gifts.
More than a dozen FBI agents rushed into this luxury apartment building in Washington, D.C. Wednesday, arresting Arian Tarsday and Haider Ali for allegedly pretending to work for the Homeland Security Department. According to court documents, the men also provided gifts to Secret Service agents, including rent-free apartments totaling $40,000, iPhones, surveillance systems, a drone, a flat-screen TV, and law enforcement paraphernalia. 4 members of the Secret Service were suspended as part of the investigation, and one of them was on First Lady Jill Biden's protective detail.
We don't know what they were trying to do, whether it was just dumb luck that they happened to befriend or get acquainted with a member of the First Lady's detail, or if it was intentional.
Court documents did not reveal what, if anything, Tarsday and Ali were trying to accomplish by posing as agents and giving gifts to the Secret Service. There's no word whether or not they were trying to gain access to the White House. The investigation does show the men had access to a lot of money.
Rent in D.C. is really expensive, and these men, according to court documents, had like a few different units inside of a very expensive D.C. Apartment building. So that's not cheap, and investigators right now are seeing where the money is.
The Secret Service says it's cooperating with investigators. Tarsday and Ali are scheduled for a court appearance today on charges of impersonating law enforcement. Mona Kassar Abdi, ABC News, New York.
509, about 54 degrees.
And still ahead, we're going to tell you about some changes coming to Amazon Music for Prime members.
Outside with live cam. If you are headed out the door early this morning, you should know that it's now dropped down to 54 degrees. 512, science will be the focus of a weekend event that UT Health San Antonio is hosting at the Whitty on Saturday.
And this year, our own Sarah Spivey and Katie Blake will be the keynote speakers. They have a closer look at the fun, family-friendly event.
Viva Fiesta and Viva Science. If you know Katie and me, you know that we love science.
Absolutely. And we're really excited because this Saturday, April 9th, Sarah and I are going to be the keynote speakers at an event called Viva Science SA.
Viva Science SA is a free, family-friendly STEM workshop put on by UT Health San Antonio.
The event will be this Saturday, April 9th from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Mays Center at the Whitty Museum.
There will be interactive science booths, food trucks, science-themed artwork, and more.
Sarah and I are the keynote speakers for the event. We are so honored, and we're going to be able to talk about atmospheric science, forecasting, and what it's like to be broadcast meteorologists.
For more information, you can visit vivasciencesa.com.
We hope to see you there, and
Viva Fiesta!
Viva Fiesta, you too?
Yeah, it'll be fun. Time now, 5:13 and 54 degrees for now.
Still ahead on the morning show, why Meta may introduce tokens and digital currency to its apps.
And we're going to have more details on new emoji reactions that are coming to Google Docs.
Medusa lived with a hideous curse. I mean, the whole turning people to stone thing was a bit of a buzzkill, right? So she ordered sunglasses with Prime, one-day delivery. Clever girl. People realise she's actually hilarious once you get to know her. Ugh, as if... Well, he was asking for it. Prime changed everything.
How did Olay top expensive creams? Like this, with hydration that beats the $100 cream in every jar of Regenerist. Retinol 24, collagen peptide, new vitamin C, and the iconic red jar. Can't top this skin. Shop now at Olay.com.
You'd think the sax player would be getting ready for his solo, but no, he's currently checking his investments. You gotta have a plan outside the band, man.
Digital tools so impressive, you just can't stop. What would you like the power to do?
5:17, Amazon increasing the price of its music subscription plans. ABC's Andrew Dembert has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, a price hike for Amazon Prime subscribers. Starting next month, access to Music Unlimited will increase by $1 to $8.99 a month. That's on top of the cost for a Prime subscription, which runs $13 to $15 a month. Facebook's parent company Meta is reportedly planning to introduce its own digital currency, and employees have already nicknamed it Zuckbucks after founder Mark Zuckerberg. The Financial Times says it's not expected to be a cryptocurrency, but in-app tokens similar to the ones used in gaming apps like Roblox. Finally, Google Docs will start allowing users to respond to text with an emoji instead of a written comment. The new feature will roll out for most Google Doc users after April 20th. Google says all available emojis can be used, calling them a less formal reaction. So now if you see classified documents crying, I guess you could say it's just sensitive information. Those are your Tech Bites.
Well, for you early bird commuters, I saw some flashing lights over by Ingram Park Mall.
All right, let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos then.
Thankfully, that's the only issue we have to report right now. Mark and Steph, let's get a look around town first. 281 at Grayson. We do have traffic that's slightly picking up in this direction. However, we do have a crash that Mark I was just mentioning there off of Ingram Park. Let's go ahead and take you to the map and show you where that's pinpointed, because we're seeing it right now located in the northbound lanes of 410 there at Culebra Road. That camera from TransGuide is picking it up from Ingram. But again, we're going to pinpoint that right at Culebra Road, which is not too far from where it's being reported. Let's take a drive down over here to US 90, because we do have some bridge work that's continuing up until tomorrow. Overnight commuters, keep in mind that's from 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning. You can expect the full closure of the main lanes right there at Montgomery Road. Traffic in the meantime is being directed onto the frontage road, and you can see in these eastbound lanes of US 90, we're already starting to see a light buildup, but nothing too bad just yet. Let's get that wide look at the map. This early in the morning, we're in great shape. And if you are at home, make sure you have your phones handy right now, because we're going to show you that QR code again. Let's go ahead and bring that up if we can. Grab your phone, scan that QR code. That will take you directly to the KSAT traffic page for the latest closures in your area. And of course, the latest on commute coverage. Guys.
Very good. Thank you, Stephen.
Mike, all that's missing from your picture here is if you hum the opening theme to 2001, A Space Odyssey.
What's that? Find the obelisk somewhere. And a lot of people always, the misnomer, think that that's the name of the song, and it's not.
No, it's not.
What is it?
It's Sprachzarustra or something like that.
Okay.
I'm looking
Look
for
it up.
it.
Yeah.
All right. Beautiful. It is a waxing crescent moon out there. It's going to be full on the week from Saturday on the 16th.
Sorry. I didn't do it like Jeopardy. What is Sprachzarustra?
Very good. And we've got a lot of clear skies out there right now. It's going to be a gorgeous sunrise this morning. Temperature is now at 53 degrees, so we've dropped down just a lot in about the past half an hour or so, and mid to low 50s in portions of the hill country. 43 already at Rio Medina, 44 at Hondo, and we will continue to drop down another 5, 6, 7 degrees or so and bottom out at 46. Just as right before the sun is starting to come up. And then the wind picks up this morning. And so wind out of the north to northeast, about 10, 15, 20 miles per hour, gusting on top of that. We're going to be up to 70 today at noon, and then add another 10 degrees to that, and we'll top off at 80. Just a fantastic day. Nice low humidity. Really pleasant for all the fiesta activities. Going out to Nyosa tonight, take a jacket or light sweater because it'll cool off fairly quickly. But then on the downside, breezy, low humidity, and dry everything out there, and that's what's prompting once again red flag warnings to go into effect 10 o'clock up until 8 o'clock tonight. Does not include the western portion of our viewing area, and really until we've been talking about until we get some decent rain around here, fire danger is going to remain high even through the weekend. All right, as far as humidity, bone dry air in place today as well as tomorrow, Saturday, and then throughout the day on Sunday, humidity is going to come back. By late Sunday, you'll definitely feel the humidity, and then it's really going to come back in here for next week. But then hopefully that helps out with some rain chances by the first part of next week. First of all, upstream, there is nothing going on around for the next couple of days. I mean, just this clear weather. Notice how we've got this kind of northwesterly flow here. That's what has been helping to keep things really pleasant around here. And for the next, like I said, next few days, just absolutely nothing but sunshine, clear skies. Then by Sunday, we get a few more clouds around here, maybe a stray shower as the humidity works its way in here. Monday, perhaps shower or two, and then a slightly better chance for a stray shower or two on Tuesday, maybe even a thunderstorm thrown in, and that may extend on into Wednesday. Not great rain chances, but at least there's that chance going into the first part of next week. 70 today at noon. Sunny, breezy. Once again, red flag warning goes into effect for most of the area, and then 80 for a high temperature today. Sunny and breezy. Tomorrow, again, a chilly and or cold start down to 44 degrees, 48 on Saturday. Beautiful in the afternoon, beautiful for Battle of Flowers tomorrow. For Flambeau Saturday night, more humidity on Sunday, on Palm Sunday, and especially in the afternoon. If you're going to early church services Sunday, should be still fairly pleasant, and then mid to upper 80s next week, and hopefully a little bit of rain.
Steph checked my guess for us.
Yes, yeah, that was.
I got it.
Yeah.
Sprachzarustra. It's German. It was from Richard Strauss, German composer, back in 1896.
Sprachzarustra?
Sprachs. S-P-R-A-C-H. Zarustra. I'm not spelling. It's complicated.
I would have never.
Space Odyssey.
Yeah. That's what I just thought it was Space Odyssey.
If you're really curious, ask Alexa. All right, 5:23, about 53 degrees.
And coming up next in your morning spotlight, look at the latest Doctor Strange 2 teaser, plus Penelope Cruz starting a new production company.
Pick 3 numbers this morning. Apparently not. The new teaser trailer out for the new Doctor Strange movie, plus Imagine Dragons has a new music video.
Here's CNN's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Every night, same dream.
Every morning, the same nightmare.
You're not dreaming. Marvel Studios has released the latest teaser for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Benedict Cumberbatch returns as the Sorcerer Supreme when the movie hits theaters May 6th. Penelope Cruz is starting her own production company. The recent Oscar nominee plans to partner with Spain's MediaPro studio on Moon Lion, which will produce nonfiction and drama material for film and television. Imagine Dragons' latest music video, Bones, combines The Wolf of Wall Street and The Walking Dead as the trading floor becomes a zombie nightclub. Bones is set to appear on the band's double album Mercury Acts 1 and 2, due out July 1st. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
527, 53 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, new reports out today give a baseline for interest rates as the Fed signals a hike and Congress tries to crack down on high gas prices.
Plus, 3 things you can do right now that could raise your credit score.
And you're going to want to stay with us because we're going to tell you when and where you can get your 2022 KSET Fiesta Medal. Stay with us.
Good morning, I'm Jonathan Cotto. A reckless driver leads Bexar County deputies on a chase. We'll tell you how that ended coming up on GMSA.
People and pets all displaced by a fire in their West Side home overnight. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. I'll tell you more about it.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning. The good news, it's not humid, but that's also a little bit of bad news there, a little dry.
Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, April 7th. When we went on the air about an hour ago, it was about 55 degrees. Mike says we're going to go down a little bit further.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope you packed your jacket, at least for the morning.
Yeah, and then nice warm up throughout the day, and then you'll need it again this evening. Same thing tomorrow. Pretty much the same thing on Saturday as well, with these cool mornings, great afternoons, and then coolish evenings once the sun finally goes down. So again, if you're going to Niosa tonight, yeah, take a jacket with you if you're going to be there later on in the evening. 53 right now. The dew point, measure moisture in the atmosphere, is down to 20. When that number is so low and you got all the clear skies out there, light wind, that's what allows temperatures to really drop down. So that's why we are going to continue to drop down. And all throughout the metropolitan area now, we are in the mid and lower 50s, right around Converse and Randolph, down to 52 degrees. We do have a red flag warning. So yeah, all this beautiful weather does come with, the downside to it because of the windy conditions. It's going to be on the breezy side. Probably not as windy as yesterday, but still a decent breeze out there. So that's prompting the red flag warnings from 10 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock for the eastern 2/3 of our viewing area. Just kind of forget about any sort of burning out there. Oak is on the high side. Came down a whole bunch, though, from the previous days. Reading was up close to 3,000, 830 yesterday. Mold moderate, light amounts of grass, mulberry, and hackberry. And again, nice big warm up throughout the day. We peak at 80 later on today, and then it's going to cool off quickly. So we'll be down, for going to Fiesta, or going to Niosa tonight, pardon me, we're going to be in the 60s and even low 60s. So again, jacket's a pretty good idea. You're going to need one tomorrow morning as well. Going to a Battle of Flowers parade. We're going to talk about that and a closer look at Palm Sunday weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authorities, Stephen, what's going on?
Good morning, Mike. 410 north at Ingram is a view from TransGuide we are waking up to right now. You can see some flashing lights out there. Does appear a crash that we reported a little bit earlier in the morning is in the midst of clearing out. We're not really seeing any other vehicles out there. However, there are still some flashing lights. So as a friendly reminder, move over or slow down for those first responders who are out there. Again, that crash was pinpointed in the northbound lanes right there at Culebra Road. Not seeing the slowdown in these lanes, which is a good sign. That means traffic is moving through there without any trouble. Let's go ahead and give you that wide look at the map here at 5:33. We're not spotting really any significant slowdowns that would cause you to maybe be late to work this morning. So remember to take it slow out on the roads. That's always the best way to go. And if you are traveling into San Antonio, good news is it's pretty green from Seguin. I-10 westbound, 29 minutes to downtown San Antonio, 21 minutes if you're traveling in from 87 in Lavernia in those northbound lanes, and 28 minutes traveling up from Floresville to downtown SA. One last look at TransGuide. Looks like those flashing lights are out of there, so that means our friends over at TransGuide giving us a different view. Again, 410 north at Ingram, it does look like traffic is moving through there without any trouble. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, a teenage girl in the hospital with smoke inhalation. That's from a fire that also destroyed her family's West Side home. The fire broke out overnight in the 100 block of C Street near Highway 90 and Zarzamora Road. Katrina Weber has a live report from the scene. And Katrina, is the rest of the family okay?
Yes, according to firefighters, there were 3 people in all inside that home, along with some pets. Seems that everyone got out. What they tell us is that it was a father and his son and daughter. And the father and son made it out first. The father then had to go back in for the 17-year-old daughter. She's the one who suffered smoke inhalation. You can see there are some people, well, they're in and out of the home. It looks like they're trying to collect some valuables from this home, which has very heavy damage. Let me give you a look at the video to show you how things were a little bit earlier this morning. The fire broke out around 3 o'clock here in the 100 block of C Street. Sent up a lot of smoke, apparently, because as we drove here, we could see signs on the highway warning drivers that there would be heavy smoke in the area. When we got here, firefighters were just wrapping up. They say that they do not know the exact cause of the fire, but there doesn't seem to be anything suspicious that this possibly could be related to an electrical problem. But a fire investigation team is looking into that and, again, trying to isolate the exact cause. Once again, a 17-year-old girl was treated at a hospital for smoke inhalation. The rest of the family did appear to make it out okay. Reporting live on the west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Also new this morning, a traffic stop turns into a chase for some Bexar County deputies.
That chase ended in a crash involving 1 vehicle and 2 people on the city's northwest side. Jonathan Cotto joins us live with the latest. And Jonathan, how did this all start?
Good morning, Stephanie. Well, this all started when deputies were attempting to pull over a reckless driver. They tell us that attempt quickly turned into about an 8-minute chase before the driver of that vehicle crashed into this pole right here. But let's take a look at what the scene here looked like earlier. We know this crash happened close to 2 o'clock this morning in front of the Tradewind Villas, an apartment community off of Vance, Jackson, and Clower. This is just south of I-10. In fact, Mark, Stephanie, we are right between I-10 and Fredericksburg. Now, deputies tell us the female driver was detained, but her passenger ran off after crashing. Now, it is important to mention the driver did have a felony warrant. She is being charged for evading. Right now, deputies believe alcohol or suspect alcohol was a factor in this crash. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. 5:37 now to how much you'll be spending in the coming days and weeks, specifically on gasoline and interest rates.
CNN's Amy Kiley explains what's happening and how it affects your bank account.
You are ripping the American people off, and it must end. Gas prices need to go down.
Some big things are happening that affect how much you pay for things. The first is oil executives won't commit to ending buybacks.
Will you commit to doing whatever it takes, including increasing production, but also reducing dividends and buybacks in order to lower prices for struggling American consumers?
Nearly all basically answered like this.
We'll see production increases over time, and the answer is no on dividends and share purchases.
Here's how buybacks work. Oil companies buy some of their own shares. That reduces supply for normal investors, increases demand, and raises share prices. Then shareholders get payouts called dividends. Oil executives usually own stock in their own companies, so they can personally profit from buybacks. Democrats would rather they invest in production to lower gas prices.
You and your big oil corporations are making record profits.
Some Republicans blame high fuel costs on energy regulations instead.
There is a way to be able to bring prices down. They're just not willing to do it at this point.
The second thing happening that affects your wallet involves interest rates. The Federal Reserve will release monthly data on consumer credit rates today. That's for things like new cars and personal loans. And Freddie Mac is releasing weekly mortgage rates. Those numbers are baselines. The Fed is signaling it will hike rates again soon. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Legislation punishing Russia for the war in Ukraine is finally getting a vote in the United States Senate. Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate will vote today on ending normal trade relations with Russia and banning the importation of its oil. Both bills have been bogged down for weeks. The delay has frustrated lawmakers who want to ratchet up the American response to the Russian invasion. The trade suspension measure paves the way for President Biden to enact higher tariffs on certain Russian imports.
Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones was deposed for 2 days this week in the defamation lawsuit brought against him by the families of victims of the Sandy Hook shooting. They are suing him for his repeated claims that the 2012 school massacre, which took the lives of 20 children and 6 adults, was a hoax. The deposition happened Tuesday and Wednesday after Jones was held in contempt and racked up fines for repeatedly refusing to appear. Since April 1st, his attorney says he has paid a total of $75,000 in court-ordered fines. That's $25,000 every business day. Jones acknowledged in another deposition that the shooting was real.
In New York, a 4-year-old boy who fell 6 stories from an apartment window Tuesday is listed in stable condition this morning. NYPD just released this dramatic body cam video. Officers rushing to help the boy after he fell from a 6th-floor apartment window in the Bronx, New York. Police say he was alert and amazingly conscious after the fall. Officers did not wait for an ambulance to arrive and rushed him straight to Lincoln Hospital in a squad car, where he was immediately met by EMTs.
Time now, 5:40 and 52 degrees for now.
Up next, 3 things one expert recommends you could do right now to improve your credit score.
And taking a look outside with a live cam, we're now at 52 degrees. The temperature is dropping at least for the morning. We'll be right back.
Three of the largest credit reporting agencies in the U.S. recently announced they're dropping medical debt collections.
And with the Fed raising interest rates, CNN's Jen Sullivan explains why experts say now is a perfect time to work on your credit score.
Where's your credit score at? It could rise in a few months after credit reporting agencies Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion announced starting July 1st, they'll remove nearly 70% of medical debt that went to collections from consumer credit reports once it's been paid off.
And typically that would still be a derogatory account, but even settled medical debts are going to be removed from credit reports.
Experts say when debt is placed on your credit report, it could make it harder to get access to credit or loans. And with the Fed increasing interest rates, it could pay off to look for other ways to raise your credit score in order to keep borrowing costs down. David Mahalik from Credit Vergio has 3 tips to help you improve your credit score this year. Number 1, pay down credit card debt. It's the second largest section of our credit score.
If you have high credit card balances, if you start leveraging credit card debt a little too high, it's not at all uncommon to see scores drop 40, 50, 80 points or even more.
Number 2, get added as an authorized user on a credit card from a family member or friend. That way, their great credit history will show up on your credit report and potentially raise your number. And number 3, put payments on auto pay. Create an account for all your bills to pay online and set up for minimum payment so that you don't forget.
You don't want to see that big drop in credit score because you got a 30-day late on a credit card and you forgot because you had to pay it off and there was an annual fee.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Time right now is 5:44, now down to 52 degrees.
And are you looking for a new pet? We're going to check in with the San Antonio Humane Society next.
Oh, look at that little furry cuddle bug.
Well, Kim's here from the San Antonio Humane Society, and another, whoa, with this little soft puppy fur. This is just like little silk fur. Who's that baby?
Yes, this is Granger. Granger is a 2-month-old shepherd collie mix. Came into us just a couple of weeks ago and has tons of brothers and sisters. So, yeah.
If you adopt this, its feet will never touch the ground because you won't put it down. That is the cutest. Oh my gosh, that is the cutest little.
So sweet.
This is going to be your first. So these are called Fiesta medals.
Look at that. Yes, you can put them around your bandana.
And these are for purchase out there. There's one for kitties and one for
There is, right? Yes. They're $10. You can come to our location. You can also buy them online on our website. We have them at Hops and Hounds and also at Monarch Trophy. So come grab them.
Well, head on over there, get some Fiesta medals, and and how many are in the litter?
Quite a few of them. Okay. So there'll be some. Look, he's just all snuggled up. Oh,
it's nap time.
It is.
If you'd like more information on little baby Granger and all the other puppies and kitties they have out there at the San Antonio Humane Society, 4804 Fredericksburg Road, 226-7461. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Oh, so cute. Are you going to call?
Oh. Control yourself. No, I'm good.
Not
I'm
this
good.
time.
I'm going to resist this time. 548, 52 degrees.
Go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos. I saw flashing lights at Loop 410 earlier.
Problems at 410. Unfortunately, the camera over there seems to be going in and out. Right now, our friends over at TransGuide able to provide us a shot at 410 at Morrison, and you can see that traffic there is not really experiencing any trouble. However, further down 410, there are some issues that drivers need to be aware of that could possibly impact that morning drive. Let's go ahead and take you to the map. A crash has been reported here off 410 eastbound at Presses Street over on the southeast side. We're not seeing a slowdown just yet, but we know when we enter the 6 a.m. hour, more folks will be waking up and getting out on the roadways. So make sure that you are driving carefully or plan ahead if you have to travel through this route. But as you can see at this hour, we're not seeing a slowdown in those eastbound lanes of 410, but the morning is still young. Also plan ahead because there is still some drainage work taking place over here, over off of I-10. Keep in mind, this is current and will continue up until Thursday, April 14th. So we still have a few days to go of this. Right now, drivers can expect that westbound exit ramp to exit to FM 1518 will be closed. Again, that will be up until Thursday, April 14th. Traffic in the meantime will be directed to the exit at FM 2538. But let's get that wide look at the map here. Not seeing a slowdown in any of the directions just yet, but let's go ahead and bring it back to 410 at Morrison. We'll try to get that image from TransGuide, but again, drive carefully out there. There are plenty of flashing lights to be on the lookout for. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank
Quick
you.
programming note, talking about little puppies
Yes.
and kittens. Tomorrow, not today, but tomorrow on SA Live, we have got a pooch parade.
That's right.
5 organizations, and we've got designers coming in to decorate their floats and everything, and going to have pups out there all in parade, and they're going to be competing for big prizes too.
Oh, that's fantastic.
cute.
Tomorrow's SA Live.
Yeah, so after the Battle of Flowers, just stay tuned right after you guys are done and that parade. So
Be fiesta
maybe it'll
themed.
become a fiesta tradition. I don't know. So.
I hope so.
All right, got some blue bonnets out there and the very rare albino blue bonnets. Very neat picture. Thank you very much for that. All right. I wonder how many different colors. Do you know how many different colors blue bonnets come in? The blue, the white. I know we've seen some.
We'll look it up while
purpley
you're
ones and
doing
stuff,
your
too, so.
forecast.
All right, it's going to be a beautiful sunrise this morning and 53 degrees right now. So we've dropped down a good 5-6 degrees just in the past couple of hours. We'll continue to drop down 43 right now, Rio Medina, and 44 over there in Hondo, a couple of the cooler spots. And one of the reasons why it is so cool out there is because we've got this very, very dry air. It's really rare to see dew point, even in the middle of winter. I mean, when we get down to low teens for dew points, that's kind of unusual. And then this time of year especially, and it's just going to remain very dry. 7 different colors of blue bonnets? Yeah. Really? Yeah. I'll be darned, didn't know that. All right, compared to this time yesterday, the dew points have dropped down 35, 45 degrees or more in some areas. So that's how much drier the air is this morning compared to this time yesterday. And with that dry air, like I said, we continue to cool down, then warm up nicely. We'll drop down to 46 degrees right around sunrise, and then things start to warm up pretty quickly, and the wind is going to start to pick up as well. We will make it up into the upper 60s, 70 degrees at noon, and then continue up another 10 degrees from there, top off at 80 later on this afternoon. Then it's going to cool down kind of quickly, though, once the sun goes down later on tonight. Wind's going to pick up, like I said, and with the very dry air in place, we do have red flag warnings that go into effect once again today, 10 o'clock up until 8 o'clock this evening for the eastern 2/3 of our viewing area. Nothing as far as any clouds around here for the next few days. Nothing but sunshine. Like I said, clear skies at night, beautiful sunrises, sunsets. Then by Sunday, we will have a few more clouds. The humidity is going to work its way back in here during the day. So by the end of the day on Sunday, you'll definitely feel the humidity. Maybe a sprinkle down to the southeast. A couple of sprinkles are possible on Monday, although this particular computer model is not picking it up. But Tuesday, we do have a slightly better chance for a couple of showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms trying to pop up. So keep your fingers crossed for some rain chances, and it's also going to be humid to start off next week as well. 70 at noon today. Sunny, breezy, good looking day, and then a high temperature up to 80, sunny and breezy. Again, downside, high fire danger. Until we get decent rain, fire danger will exist, even if there's nothing formally posted, of course. Tomorrow we start off 44 degrees. That's going to be chilly. 48 on Saturday morning, get up to low 80s, low to mid 80s both days. And then Sunday, nice for early church services for Palm Sunday. And then the humidity comes back in here, and keep your fingers crossed for a couple of showers around. It's going to be humid, it's going to be hot. starting off next week.
All right, so we have bluebonnets, white, pink, maroon, various hues of all four of those. And then back in 2017, agricultural experts found a rainbow bluebonnet in the Texas Hill Country.
Really?
That was purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, and white.
How pretty.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. I wish I could show you the picture, but I don't own the picture, but it's beautiful.
Wow.
We'll look it up.
Very rare though.
Huh.
The unicorn of bluebonnets.
Yeah, if you see it, take a picture.
That's right. 554, about 52 degrees.
And let's look at your winning lotto numbers. We have pick 3, 464, Fireball 2, Daily 4, 9178, Fireball 2.
Cash 5 numbers 5, 10, 16, 22, 35. Lotto Texas 6, 9, 18, 23, 31, 38. And Powerball 6, 42, 45, 47, 64. Powerball 18, Power Play 3. Still plan on going to NIOSA? We have you covered. We have the layout and everything you need to know about those cashless wristbands. All the details in this article on ksat.com. By the way, I'm going to fess up. I got duped. The rainbow bluebonnet was an April Fool's joke, but there are hues of all those other ones and 7 total colors of bluebonnets. Whoops. Well, ahead in our next hour, GMSA, are you looking for ways to revitalize your home for spring? We've got tips for spring cleaning and TransGuide. Let's see how things are looking out there. We have those flashing lights, 410 near Morrison on the access road. They're off to the side of the main lanes. We'll check back in with Stephen Cavazos coming up.
A West Side family wakes up to the sound of smoke detectors, then finds fire all throughout their home. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber, one member of the family in the hospital. I'll tell you more about it.
Good morning, I'm Jonathan Cotto. This is all that's left here at the scene after a woman crashes into this pool. We'll tell you everything we know coming up on GMSA.
This morning, the search is on for a missing person last seen near Abilene. We have those details.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we're starting at 52 degrees, nice and chilly and very different for April.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And a good morning to you. It is Thursday, the 7th.
Thanks for joining us. Happy Thursday, happy Fiesta. Looks like the weather will work out for the most part for all of our Fiesta activities.
But as predicted by our meteorologist, a cool start today and wait till tomorrow morning. But in the meantime, Mike is talking about continuing high fire danger. Can't emphasize that enough, Mike.
That is the downside, that we have red flag warnings again. And really, you know, like we've been talking about all morning long, until we get decent rain, even though nothing formally is posted, still a high fire danger. But then on the flip side of that, gorgeous weather for Fiesta. Grab a jacket this morning. Got lots of clear skies out there, and just about to go behind that banner, that is the planet Venus. And then, of course, with all the clear skies out there, it's going to be just a sensational sunrise. 52 right now. Will continue to drop down. 47 Port SA, 43 Rio Medina, and Hondo at 44. Yeah, it's jacket weather, definitely. And we'd have, once again, that red flag warning goes into effect 10 o'clock up until 8 o'clock. Wind's going to start to pick up. We don't have much of a breeze right now, but the wind will pick up later on this morning. Oak is high, although came down about a third of what it was the previous day when it was close to 3,000. Mold moderate, grass, mulberry, hackberry are all on the low side. Temperatures, we drop down to 46, and then the wind starts to pick up, and then nice big warm up though. This dry air does warm up very quickly, very easily. So plenty of sunshine. We make it up to 70 today at noon, and then it will top off at 80, and then it's going to cool down kind of quickly after that. So if you are heading off to NIOSA tonight, take a jacket, because we're going to be down in the kind of 60s by, I'll say, 8 to 10 o'clock tonight. But just an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous evening out there. Beautiful for the parade tomorrow, for the parade on Saturday as well. We'll talk about Palm Sunday and maybe some rain chances down the road. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, what's going on?
Good morning, Mike. Still have some issues here off of Loop 410. Let's get a look at TransGuide, where we see that traffic is moving through that area without any trouble. But our friends over there have been panning the camera around to show us the conditions. Right now, we do see those flashing lights off in the distance, and you can see that shot here at 410 at Villa Main is what we've been trying to show you. But the camera's been going in and out, so you can see that there are plenty of flashing lights out there, and this is not good as we are entering into a pretty busy hour. But let's go ahead and bring you to the map to see how it's impacting traffic, because that crash has been pinpointed in the eastbound lanes of 410 right at Preston Street. Thankfully, at this hour, 6:03, we're not seeing a buildup of traffic just yet. But keep in mind, more people will be expected to get out on the roadways in the next few minutes or so. So again, you got to drive carefully and start looking for maybe a different route. We'll do the same here. Another stall picked up right here off I-10 westbound there at 35, not causing issues. But as always, make sure you move over or slow down when you see a stranded motorist. 6:03, no other issues to report just yet, but we can expect when more people get out there, that's when we'll probably start to see some of those issues popping up. 28 minutes right now if you're traveling in from Pleasanton on 37 northbound, so no need to rush out the door there. Same goes for Highway 90 Castroville, 19 minutes to downtown San Antonio in those eastbound lanes. 17 if you're traveling in from Lytle on I-35 northbound. So looking like we're in good shape there, but not looking too good here off 410 at Villa-Main. It does look like the camera has gone out again, but we'll keep an eye out for it and see how that impacts the drive time coming up a little bit later on, guys.
Thank you, Stephen. An overnight fire has turned the lives of a West Side family upside down. One member of that family in the hospital being treated for smoke inhalation. The others are trying to figure out what to do next.
Katrina Weber is live where it happened in the 100 block of C Street, not far from Highway 90 and Zarzamora. And Katrina, it appears there is some heavy damage to that home.
Definitely some heavy damage. In fact, it is pretty clear that the family won't be able to stay here any longer. In fact, the father and son just a little while ago were actually going through the home, removing what they could, whatever they could salvage. The 17-year-old daughter, meanwhile, is the one who's in the hospital. The firefighters tell us that she was the last one to escape the fire, that her father had to go back in for her after he and his son got out of the home around 3 this morning. The home's smoke detectors are what alerted them to the fire. They also had several dogs, which all made it out safely. This home here in the 100 block of C Street is heavily damaged. It seems the fire also sent up a lot of smoke, because at one point we saw TransGuide signs on the highway that were warning drivers about heavy smoke in the area. The fire investigators are still trying to pinpoint the exact cause of this fire, but firefighters told us that there didn't appear to be anything suspicious, that it very well could be related to an electrical problem. Reporting from the West Side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. New this morning, Bexar County deputies involved in a chase after attempting to conduct a traffic stop.
Our Jonathan Cotto joins us live from the Northwest Side. Jonathan, what's the latest out there?
Good morning, Mark. Well, we are learning this all started after deputies were attempting to pull over what they described to be as a reckless driver, but that attempt quickly turning into about an 8-minute long chase, ending right here at this pole, that vehicle crashing into this pole. And as you can see, the pole not taking too much damage but by the visible debris here, parts of that car, bumpers, part of the lighting here shows the visible force of impact. Let's take a look at what that scene looked like earlier this morning. We know this crash happened close to 2 o'clock this morning in front of the Tradewind Villas, an apartment community off of Vance Jackson and Clower. This is just south of I-10. In fact, we're right between I-10 and Fredericksburg. Deputies tell us the female driver was detained, but her passenger ran off after crashing. Now, it is important to mention that female driver did have a felony warrant. She is being charged for evading. Right now, deputies tell us they have reason to believe she had been drinking. But of course, this crash is under investigation. Reporting live from the city's Northwest Side, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. A silver alert in effect right now for a missing person. The Coleman County Sheriff's Office south of Abilene is looking for Joyce Marine Davis. She's 84 years old, 5'1", 125 pounds, has gray hair and hazel eyes. She was last seen driving a white 2002 Ford Focus, Texas license plate RBJ 9427. She is diagnosed with a cognitive impairment, and law enforcement officials believe she poses a threat to her own health and safety. If you have any information regarding this missing senior, contact the Coleman County Sheriff's Office. The number in the white banner in the middle of your screen, 325-625-3506.
And some other top stories we are following. New details on the shooting of a Bexar County deputy. Now, records are revealing more about the accused gunman, Robert Inocencio. Bexar County records list 2 charges for the 19-year-old, one of them being a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon last year. That charge was dismissed due to a missing witness. Records show that he also faced a charge of unlawful carry of a weapon, and a hearing date was set for last Friday before it was moved to August. Now, Bexar County deputies tried to arrest him on 2 felony warrants this week that involved an aggravated robbery and a narcotics case. Investigators say a deputy was shot while trying to serve those warrants. He was taken to a hospital as another deputy returned fire. Inocencio was found dead after an hours-long standoff. Right now, it's unclear if his death was due to gunfire from deputies or a self-inflicted gunshot.
New technology, drought, and a potential for watering restrictions were the topics discussed yesterday right here in San Antonio during the largest water conference in the United States. SAWS was one of the local hosts of the conference, and Hayden with SAWS said there's a good chance we will go into Stage 2 restrictions. Stage 2 would allow hand watering anytime, but irrigation would be limited to once a week during certain times on your designated day.
And tonight is your last chance to catch the grand return of Corniation.
After nearly 3-year COVID hiatus, the satirical show is back and not pulling any punches. Everything from the pandemic to Snowmageddon, the Capitol insurrection, even Russian President Vladimir Putin are included. Part of what made Wednesday night's show special, a shared stage by King Anchovy, King Antonio, and El Rey Feo.
We've never really had the recognition from sort of the more mainstream events, and this year they've all coalesced to come together at our stage.
And your last chance to see the show tonight at 7 or 10. It's one that you'll keep laughing while you're supporting local organizations.
I believe it's over at the Empire Theater downtown. Details on our Fiesta Medal giveaway are coming up in this hour. Keep watching on GMSA. We'll give you the location, the time, and I said the place. Yeah, location. That's what location is.
We're going to tell you.
I'll work
all
it
about
out. I'll work it out. I'm just talking it out, folks. 6:10 right now, about 52 degrees.
And it's game day, SA. The Spurs are back in action tonight. We're going to tell you what a win would mean for the Silver and Black now that they're headed to the play-in bracket.
And we're learning to reach for the stars here on GMSA. After the break, Colonel Eileen Collins talks about her new book and her inspiring message for living a life of service. She is the Grand Marshal for this year's Battle of Flowers Parade.
Very cool. You got to meet her.
I did.
That's pretty awesome. And taking a look outside with Live Cam, we're at 52 degrees. Yes, 52 degrees in April. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Exactly 6:14. Of course, tomorrow is the Battle of Flowers Parade, and this year's Grand Marshal is Colonel Eileen Collins. She was the first female pilot of the space shuttle and first female commander of a shuttle mission. Eileen lives here in San Antonio and stopped by KSAT recently to talk about her new book, Through the Glass Ceiling to the Stars. Right there.
So the reason I wrote the book was to inspire young people to dream and achieve things that maybe they haven't heard about before. So the military was the first thing that I did. And I'm not sure if our young people today really get exposed to the military and understand what we do. So I was in the Air Force. I have many family members that were in the Navy, also the Army, and I have many friends in the other services. Of course, now we have the Space Force. But I wanted young people to really get an idea of the military life. And it's a life of service, but it's also, I would say, very exciting, full of challenges. You do things that you never thought you were capable of achieving, and you come out of the service with a, I'm going to say, a type of confidence that you would never have otherwise. And you do have the skills, but I think the confidence that you get allows you to go into any career field after you leave and really know how to solve problems and know how to define your mission and have a focus on that mission. So that's what I learned. But I went on to the space program after I left the Air Force. And so the other reason that I wrote the book was for young people to see that what they can do with STEM degrees. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. And those degrees lead into the space program and many other areas also. But my book talks a lot about human spaceflight, what it was like back in the shuttle days. It's going to.
All right, so some San Antonians may remember when the shuttle flew over San Antonio in the summer of 1999 as it prepared to land in Florida.
Colonel Collins was at the controls during that flight. She also commanded the first mission after the Columbia tragedy. It was called a return to flight.
So 2 years after she was originally chosen to be Grand Marshal of this parade, tomorrow she is now in a way helping San Antonio and Fiesta return to flight tomorrow, Mike.
I remember that 99, we ran over there by the quarry before that was ever developed, and that plasma streak going across the northern sky, and ran over and watch it land. So fascinating book. I read the whole thing, her life and just her persistence. And the one thing to take away from this, now, first of all, I mean, all the great stories about space missions going up to Mir when that used to be around. But she said, you know, it's things that you don't have any control over, then don't let it get to you. I mean, just worry about the things that you can control. Otherwise,
Let it go.
Yeah, let it go, basically.
Easier said than done, but she's learned through experience. Again, the book's called Through the Glass Ceiling to the Stars. A really good read. Mike loaned it to me. I'm about halfway done. It is a page turner. And Tom Hanks even wrote, what's on his comment? What a read.
Yeah.
That's an endorsement there.
Yes, it is.
Definitely. And I was just giddy meeting her. So.
Yeah, I was you got to meet her too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll see Colonel Collins tomorrow. Again, Grand Marshal of the Battle of Flowers Parade.
And autographed my book.
Yes, she did.
So awesome. It's a good thing you brought it.
Yeah.
Well, time now 6:17. Let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos.
Well, it does look like a switch has gone off, and there are a few problems taking place here at 410 at San Pedro. Flashing lights. You can see first responders are out there working to clear up a crash scene. This is the latest crash we are adding to our list. Unfortunately, Thursday traffic is off to a little bit of a troubling start. Let's go ahead and start here, though, on the southeast side, where crash looks like the icon just popped up off our map here, but there is a pretty serious crash that took place over here off Loop 410 eastbound, right there at Presta Street. It hasn't been causing any issues for drivers that are trying to navigate through that area. I'll check with our friends over at TransGuide to find out exactly if there's going to be any closures to be on the lookout for. But right now, no need to rush through there. In fact, make sure that you take it slow, especially when you see those flashing lights. Let's take a drive up all the way to New Braunfels, because I did notice that there was a slowdown that took place out here a little bit, maybe around the 9 a.m. hour yesterday. Keep in mind, this is some bridge work that's happening near Loop 337. It's current, and we'll actually wrap up until at 5 this afternoon. So it's during the day. Make sure that you are planning ahead. And of course, that will be a single northbound lane closure at River Road. So again, that's for our friends up toward New Braunfels. And of course, time to bring out your phones. You can scan this QR code that will take you directly to the KSAT traffic page. And that's going to have the latest on the closures that are taking place in your area. And of course, the latest on your commute. Mike?
You know, who would have thought this in April, but you might want to kind of take a moment and warm up the bus, warm up the car, because temperatures are kind of chilly out there, and we will continue to drop down a few degrees as just before the sun is going to be coming up. Then we'll top off at 80 later on today. It is going to be breezy, and we'll have a wind out of the north about 10-20 miles per hour. Not as breezy as the past couple of days, but still we will have enough of a wind out there and dry air to give us a red flag warning. More on that in a second. It is the waxing crescent moon. Beautiful, beautiful shot there. It's going to be great looking moon gazing weather tonight if you are heading on out because of the clear skies, and it's going to be a spectacular sunrise this morning just above right there, that little dot right there. That is the planet Venus. Gorgeous this morning. 52 degrees right now, 50 Boerne Stage, 50 in Comfort, and then some low 40s out there in Medina County. We're in Medina right now at 43 degrees, and we continue to drop down in the next couple of hours and then warm up very quickly up through the 50s and mid 60s late this morning, 70 at noon. Wind picks up then later on this morning, and it's going to be breezy. Like I said, not as windy as the past couple of days, but still enough of a breeze out there. We're going to be topping off at 80 degrees later on today with just nothing but sunshine and blue skies. Red flag warning goes into effect at 10 o'clock this morning up until 8 o'clock tonight for the eastern 2/3 of our area. Very, very dry air, unusually dry air for this time of the year. Even at winter time, you know, it's kind of rare to see dew points down in the teens, but we're going to be dropping down into the teens tomorrow and throughout the day today, and Friday. And then still nice on Saturday. Humidity starts to return. By late Sunday, you start to feel the humidity, and then going into next week. And that's can be reflected with the low temperatures. Dry air allows temperatures to really drop down. We're going to be 44 tomorrow morning for the start of the Battle of Flowers Parade, or right before it starts, and then low temperatures are going to be well up into the upper 60s by the first part of next week with that that humid air out there, and it's also going to be pretty warm. Temperatures are going to be anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees above normal going into the mid part of next week. So it's going to be hot and humid, but we do have some rain chances going into next week. 70 at noon today, sunny, breezy. Just an absolutely spectacular day, notwithstanding the very high fire danger. 80 for a high temperature then. Tomorrow we start off really chilly, 44 degrees, get up to 81, 48 Saturday morning, 85. Great for battle flowers, great for flambeau. Nice for early morning church services on Palm Sunday, and then more humidity in the afternoon. And hopefully we get some showers coming in here by the first and middle part of next week. And it's going to be kind of hot and humid next week. Steph, Mark.
Thank you, Mike.
Right now, 621, about 52 degrees.
And gas theft is on the rise. Just ahead, what thieves are doing at the pump that has police on high alert.
Faces of Fiesta is powered by Silverado and your local San Antonio area Chevy dealers.
Hello, I'm Elena Mikulski, Miss San Antonio. Viva Fiesta!
Meet the current reigning Miss San Antonio, who's a senior at Liberty University.
I'm studying psychology and I'm going to get my PhD in psychometrics. I started competing in the Miss America organization because I fell in love with Fiesta.
Elena is honored to be part of the Miss America organization.
I am surrounded by some of the most educated, strong young women in all of Texas.
And as Miss San Antonio, she's using that platform for mental health awareness.
I started my platform, Talk Through the Taboo, which is breaking down the stigma surrounding mental illness. So I want to be an example for people, saying that, you know, it's completely normal to have mental illness, to deal with mental health struggles, and that there are people out there and resources available to people.
The Fiesta events Elena looks forward to most?
I'm really excited to go to the parades and just see all of San Antonio, see all of the citizens, and see all the floats. I love them.
Why hide your skin if Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control?
Hide my skin, not me.
Because Dupixent targets a root cause of eczema, it helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of it.
Hide my skin, not me.
And for kids ages 6 and up, that means clearer skin and noticeably less itch. With Dupixent, you can change how their skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice.
Hide my skin, not me.
Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can show more with less eczema. Talk to your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
Now to brazen gas thieves caught in the act. A car dealership near Chicago capturing one of those thieves drilling holes into the tanks of vehicles, filling up buckets and walking away. Are you kidding me? And in Florida, a $60,000 gas theft ring. 7 suspects hijacking the pump for hours. And after pumping 600 gallons of fuel, their bill was just $6. Ahead on Good Morning America, look for expert ways to keep your car and your gas tank safe.
Oh my goodness. Time now 6:26 and 52 degrees for now.
Much more to come on GMSA at 6:30, including the latest on Governor Abbott's aggressive plans for border control.
And we are getting closer to telling you where and when you can pick up your KSET Fiesta 2022 medal. Mark is dancing.
Do not mock my dancing,
Mark
Stephanie Serna.
We'll be right.
Good morning, I'm Jonathan Cotto. A reckless driver refusing to pull over leads deputies into a chase ending right here. We'll tell you what we know coming up on GMSA.
And the person accused of killing a local teacher is out on bond this morning. We're going to tell you how the victim's school family is responding.
Here we are, April 7th. The sun is about to come up during Fiesta, and we're at 52 degrees. The catch, again, fire danger remains very high for just about everybody watching this broadcast. Good morning to you. It is Thursday, April 7th.
Happy Thursday. Happy Fiesta. It continues today, another day in Niosa. And also, Mike, the Battle of the Bands.
Yes, indeed. That's going to be tonight. If you are going to the band festival tonight at Alamo Stadium, make sure you take a jacket because, you know, for the big finale when all all, 5,000. That is just a sight to behold. There's nothing cooler than that when they're all out there on the field
together.
But take a jacket because it will cool off. Need one this morning as well. We've got clear skies. We are well below the normal low temperature this time of year is the upper 50s. And we got, as we were talking about, lots of clear skies. Maybe my imagination, but it almost looks like we're starting to see the glow of the sunrise out there. Very, very dry air. Dew point, measure moisture in the atmosphere is down to 21 degrees. And we've got just a light wind, obviously clear skies, so that's allowing temperatures to continue to drop down. So 52 in town, 43 Rio Medina, 50 Comfort, and 54 up the road in Bulverde. Red flag warnings we were talking about with the wind picking up later on this morning, so that goes into effect at 10 o'clock up until 8 o'clock tonight for the eastern 2/3 of our viewing area. Oak is high. The updated count's going to be coming out in about an hour or so. Mole is moderate. That should really be dropping down with this dry air in place. And throughout the rest of today, well, this morning, clear, cold out there, or cool or cold, however you describe it. And then sunny, breezy, a fantastic day. Of course, high fire danger notwithstanding. And then tomorrow, it is going to be cold. We're going to be in the mid and even some lower 40s, probably some upper 30s in parts of the hill country tomorrow, and then sunny and beautiful. Pretty much the same thing Saturday. Great for Flambeau Parade Saturday night. And Sunday starting off, but then the humidity is going to return. Maybe a sprinkly shower or two by late Sunday, and hopefully some rain chances next week. Tonight, other than the band festival, if you're going to Nyosa, again, grab a jacket because by 10 o'clock down into the low 60s. More on the weekend forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, been talking about lots of lights out there, right?
That's right, Mike. Let's get a look. 410 at San Pedro Avenue. That is one of the problem spots this morning. You can see it does look like this crash is actually under the overpass there, and we're seeing some of those first responders that are walking and inspecting that scene. Not exactly clear what led to this incident, but of course you have to drive carefully. We do have some folks that are out there on the roadways working to inspect and of course make the roads a safer place. Let's go ahead and show you the map and pinpoint where that's being located, because we are seeing that off of 410 eastbound again at San Pedro Avenue. Not seeing the slowdown in those directions, but we're going to watch the area closely, and as always, make sure that you are doing the same. As I mentioned, we do have a pretty serious incident over here on the southeast side, Loop 410 eastbound at Presses Street. A rollover crash that looks like it came in probably about an hour or so ago. The cameras over there from TransGuide aren't necessarily working properly, so we're not able to show you the conditions, but we do have Katrina Weber who is going to be heading out there. Hopefully we'll get us some information and we'll keep you updated in that area. Let's get that wide look at the map. 6:33, no other issues to report just yet, but the morning is still relatively young. We're going to be entering morning rush here in the next few minutes, so no need to rush out the door though if you are traveling in from any of these communities. But keep in mind, La Vernia 24 minutes to downtown San Antonio and 30 minutes if you are coming in from 281 southbound and Bulverde. But let's go ahead and take one last look. This is just one of the problem spots this morning. We're going to continue to watch it closely and give you those updates coming up in the next few minutes. Mark, Stephanie.
Stephen, thank you. New this morning, Bexar County deputies involved in a chase after attempting to conduct a traffic stop.
Our Jonathan Cotto joins us live from the city's northwest side. And good morning, Jonathan. What is the latest?
Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Mark. Well, we're learning this all started as deputies were attempting to stop what they describe as a reckless driver, but that driver refusing to stop, leading deputies in about an 8-minute long chase down this street, Clower Street. That driver was traveling westbound, and right now you can't see it, but as photojournalist Timmy Stewart and I were heading to this scene, you can see the skid marks on the road going far back as 3 houses down. That's just to show when this woman applied the brakes, but impacting this pole at the very end of that chase. But let's take a look at what that scene looked like earlier this morning. We know this crash happened close to 2 o'clock this morning in front of the Tradewind Villas, an apartment community off of Vance, Jackson, and Clower. This is just south of I-10. In fact, we're right between I-10 and Fredericksburg. Now, deputies tell us the female driver was detained, but her passenger ran off after the crash. Now, the driver did have a felony warrant. She is being charged for evading. Deputies right now believe she may have been drinking. And the good news here, Mark and Stephanie, is that nobody else was hurt. We know this is a residential area. The driver did not impact any other cars and did not strike another innocent bystander here that could have been driving down Vance Jackson. Reporting live from the city's northwest side, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. The suspect accused of killing a local elementary school teacher is out of jail after bonding out. 25-year-old Matthew Wiesing was arrested and charged with murder after San Antonio police say he shot 23-year-old Michael Echeniz outside of his northwest side apartment early this month. Now, Wiesing will now be under house arrest, according to a letter for parents from Great Hearts Forest Heights, the school where Echeniz worked. There will be a police presence around the campus out of an abundance of caution.
This morning, the search is on for the man police believe robbed a Home Depot on the city's east side.
It happened on March 30th at the store location on Fair Avenue, not far from South Hackberry. That's where officers say the man pictured on your screen pulled out a weapon before taking off with store items.
If you know this man, if you have any information about the robbery, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP.
Governor Greg Abbott has announced aggressive new actions he says will secure the border.
That's right. One of those measures involves busing migrants to Washington, D.C. He plans on having boat blockades, razor wire, and container blockades along low water crossings.
The governor also mentioned enhanced vehicle inspections. This is only stage one of Abbott's plan. The governor says more announcements will be made next week.
Legislation for punishing Russia over the war in Ukraine is finally getting a vote in the U.S. Senate. Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate will vote today on ending normal trade relations with Russia and banning the importation of its oil. Both bills have been bogged down for weeks. The delay has frustrated lawmakers who want to ratchet up the American response to the war in Ukraine. The trade suspension measure paves the way for President Biden to enact higher tariffs on certain Russian imports. The bill banning Russian oil would codify restrictions Biden already put in place through executive action.
And two men are facing federal charges in Washington, D.C., accused of impersonating federal agents for at least 2 years. The two men have both been charged with false impersonation of an officer of the U.S. Court documents show the pair are accused of pretending to be officers or employees of the Department of Homeland Security since at least February of 2020. Officials say they represented themselves as federal agents to numerous people, many of whom are actual members of federal law enforcement. They have been placed on administrative leave pending further investigation. Both men are detained and are set to appear before a judge later today.
Happening today, the U.S. Senate expected to confirm Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. 3 Republican senators have said they will support Judge Jackson, who would replace Justice Stephen Breyer when he retires this summer. The vote will be far from the overwhelming bipartisan confirmations for Breyer and other justices in the decades past. However, it'll still be a significant bipartisan accomplishment for President Biden in the narrow 50-50 Senate after GOP senators worked to paint Jackson as too liberal.
Also happening today back here at home, Somerset ISD will host a fundraiser for one of its coaches in the wake of her son's death. Abby Rains lost her son, Travis Garcia, in a West Texas car crash last month. Garcia was among the 9 people killed. The 19-year-old was traveling back to college in New Mexico with his golf team. Garcia's aunt says today's fundraiser is just part of how the Somerset community is helping their family.
The support here, the love that we're getting, the things people are telling us that they, the way they've connected with Travis is really uplifted. It's really helped us a lot. Brought some light to our days whenever we're, having a hard time.
And if you would like to help, brown bag lunches will be available today at Somerset's Bulldog Stadium. You can pick up a hamburger, chips, and a drink, all for $8. Those lunches will be available starting at 10:30 until they sell out. We have all the information on our website at ksat.com.
Time check, 6:40 and 52 degrees out there.
And for many, springtime means spring cleaning. After the break, some tips for revitalizing your home.
And coming up next right here on Good Morning San Antonio, the secret location of today's KSAT Fiesta Medal giveaway.
And welcome back at 6:43. Now that the dreary days of winter are behind us, we are all looking for ways to revitalize our homes for spring.
In this morning's Ask Angie segment, KSAT producer Dylan Collins has some tips for spring cleaning.
Spring cleaning is a great way to get your home ready for guests, but there are some things you can do to get the most out of your spring cleaning routine.
Spring cleaning can feel overwhelming, so I like to start by coming up with a game plan.
It can take days or weeks to clean your entire house thoroughly, so don't try to do it all at once. Make a list of rooms and tackle one at a time, starting with the areas you see and use the most. If you're getting ready for a specific event, use it as a deadline and work backwards to make sure everything is clean on time.
Teamwork is key when it comes to spring cleaning. If you live with friends or family members, split up the tasks to lighten everyone's load. For example, adults can each deep clean their own rooms along with one shared space, and give kids simple tasks to help.
In each room, take stock of what you have and make a toss, donate, discard pile for everything you don't use anymore. Then consider reorganizing the room. Moving furniture or rearranging decor can give any space a fresh look and feel. If you want to make major changes, now is a good time to think about what projects will work best in your space.
Once the room is decluttered and reorganized, give it a thorough clean. Every room is different, so look around and assess the room before getting started. Depending on the room, you may need to vacuum, mop, dust, or scrub all the surfaces.
A true, deep spring cleaning only happens once or twice a year, so remember to clean any areas that you usually skip over, like ceiling fans, baseboards, and underneath your furniture. Make sure to move objects and clean them under instead of going around them. For example, now is a good time to take all the books off your bookshelves and give your shelves a nice, deep clean.
Dylan Collins, KSAT 12 News.
Yay! It's time to reveal the location of our KSAT Fiesta medal.
Do we have to tell them?
Yes, you do.
We do? Okay. Everybody relax. Here it is. Beginning at 8 o'clock this morning, medals will be given away at the HEB at 8219 Marbach Road, just outside Loop 410.
And remember, it's first come, first served basis, so the medals will be given away while those supplies last. Yes, you had to tell people.
Yes, we did. I was joking. 6:46 right now.
Go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos.
This has been a problem for over an hour now. We are taking a look at 410 and Morrison. Flashing lights out there. This is pretty much the only view our friends at TransGuide can provide to us in terms of the location and the conditions out there. But we still see first responders are working to investigate a pretty serious crash over on the southeast side. What we can tell you is that's been pinpointed right off Loop 410 eastbound at Presses Street. We're not spotting a slowdown, but we could see first responders out there for a little while. In fact, Katrina Weber is working to get some information confirmed with us, so we're hoping to bring you some updates within the next few minutes or so. But let's take a drive up here because this crash off of Loop 410 eastbound at San Pedro Avenue has been reported as well, not causing issues, but it does look like it's underneath the overpass, so watch out for those first responders. Let's get a wide look at the map. 646, no other problems to report, but we see the usual slowdowns. I-35 southbound coming in from New Braunfels and seeing a little bit of a buildup off State Highway 151. So make sure that you are driving carefully out there. And again, watch for those first responders. Mike?
Thank you very much, sir. All right, somebody's ready for Fiesta. I don't know if he looks too happy about that hat, but anyway, Viva Fiesta, Alvin. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. Gorgeous, gorgeous start this morning. And as you can see, we've got a northerly breeze there as planes coming in right over 410. Great day for flying today. 52 degrees right now, 50 comfort, Bernie Stage. Rio Medina, very cold, 43 degrees. And these are going to be some of the numbers that we'll see here in town tomorrow. And we'll continue to drop down a few more degrees in the next couple of hours and then warm up nice and quickly. So we'll bottom out at 46 and then get up in through the 60s by late morning, 70 at noon. Wind picks up later on this morning and we'll top off later on today up to 80. Again, nothing but blue skies and sunshine all day long. It is going to be fantastic. The downside, of course, with the breeze, the bone dry air out there, we do have red flag warnings again from 10 until 8 for the eastern 2/3 of our viewing area. And obviously nothing is showing up on the satellite picture right now. And then you look upstream and there's nothing that's going to be coming in here for the next couple of days. Off to the east of us, there's that huge line that produced more severe weather for the past couple of days. And yeah, that's a lot of snow up there to the north. And look at how huge that low pressure area is. That's what is really controlling our weather as of right now. That low's up there right around the Great Lakes in southern Canada, and we've got this northwesterly flow, so that keeps some beautiful air around here, and that's going to remain the case again today, tomorrow, and Saturday. We'll start to see the humidity begin its return later Saturday and throughout the day on Sunday, and then notice how everything sort of flattens out a little bit, and we almost get into more of a west to southwesterly airflow, so that's going to allow temperatures to go up. We get more humidity around here. It's not going to be as cool in the morning hours, and then by next week, there's another low developing here. We'll be on the kind of the front side of it and obviously the south side of it, but this hopefully is going to pull in enough moisture, some little disturbances to give us a chance for some rain once we get into the first half of next week. So the forecast today, 70 at noon, sunny skies, breezy again, red flag warnings in effect, and then a high temperature up to 80. Just an absolutely fantastic day. Take a jacket, though, for later on this evening if you're going to be heading on out to Nyosa, to the band festival, because it'll cool down fairly quickly. 44 then tomorrow morning. No shorts tomorrow, Mark, like you're thinking about for your wardrobe as you do Battle of Flowers Parade. And then 81 for a high temperature. Chilly again Saturday. Great for King William Fair on Saturday. The Flambeau Parade. It'll start, like I said, the humidity will begin its return. And then Sunday, especially later on in the day, it's going to be very humid. And we'll have a chance for some rain next week.
Well, I was going to wear shorts as of late last weekend, and then as the week has gone on, I've now switched to some form of pants.
Why don't you tell us how that works out for you?
Okay, all right. As I call him teeth chattering tomorrow morning. About 10 till 7 right now, 52 degrees. Our San Antonio Spurs on the road tonight, taking on the Timberwolves. Now that the Silver and Black have secured a spot in the play-in games, they'll now look to host the tournament. So in order for the Spurs to play the Pelicans at home in that game, they have to finish one game better than the Pelicans in the last 3 games of the regular season. Tonight's game in Minneapolis definitely has some postseason implications, shall we say. Spurs T-Wolves set for 8 o'clock tonight at the Target Center.
And tomorrow on GMSA, Mark and I are super excited about this. It's all about the Battle of Flowers Parade. We will be live along the parade route with team coverage as we get ready for all the festivities. And don't forget, you can watch it all live right here on KSAT 12 and KSAT.com.
Let's go out and celebrate the beginning of a beautiful day here in South Texas. The sun is coming up, a little bit hazy there on the horizon, but trust us when we say it's a great day. We'll be right back.
Good morning. So glad you're with us. Coming up, the latest on the war in Ukraine. Their urgent new plea for the West for more weapons. The response overnight as the U.S. and our allies impose new sanctions. Also, the Secret Service scandal. 4 members suspended for taking extravagant gifts from 2 men arrested for allegedly posing as Homeland Security agents. And with rising food prices, the fridge hacks that help one mom save as much as $400 a month. You heard it, on groceries. That's coming up right here on GMA. We'll see you then.
In case you missed it, you can get a KSAT Fiesta medal today at the H-E-B at 8219 Marbach Road, just outside Loop 410. Remember, it is first come, first serve, and while supplies last.
Not looking good here, 410 at Morrison. This has been the problem spot throughout the morning and just got some information confirmed with Katrina Weber. Want to show you the scene really quick. There are some flashing lights. This is unfortunately a deadly rollover that took place earlier in the morning around 5:30. Police confirmed that someone in that vehicle unfortunately did pass away from their injuries. Of course, traffic investigation is on their way to investigate that scene, but we'll be giving you all the updates throughout the morning, Mike.
And beautiful start this morning. Grab a jacket before you head out the door. Temperature right now, well, we did actually warm up a couple of notches there. 50 at Bernie Stage, 47 Port SA, 43 Rio Medina, and red flag warnings go into effect later on this morning up until 8 o'clock tonight. And throughout the rest of today, 80 for a high temperature. If you're heading out this evening, it is going to cool down quickly. Take a jacket, going to Nyosa, the band festival at Alamo Stadium tonight. And then tomorrow, really chilly for Battle of Flowers. Nice looking afternoon. Great for Flambeau as well. And nice for early Palm Sunday services on Sunday.
Thank you, Mike.
Viva Fiesta. We'll see you at the Battle of Flowers tomorrow, and we'll see you back here later at 9.
That's right. Good Morning America is coming up next. Thanks for being with us, folks.